Guys, I just did a video on how to vectorize in Illustrator and Canva using those together, but I also wanted to share with you guys the Silhouette Studio version because I really love Silhouette Studio for so many reasons, and if you use a Silhouette, this could be seamless for you to use Canva, but if you're trying to export your SVGs so that they're cuttable on a Cricut, Canva is great, but it's not the best when you want to do a few layers, and it's just kind of not as easy as it seems. So I did this kind of fun way to do this over on Illustrator. I'm going to show you guys a completely different way to do it on Silhouette Studio. So if you want to see the Illustrator one, check that out. Also, the third part of this video series is I'm going to be taking this and applying it to hoodies and crew necks and teaching you guys a little bit more about fun branding and how you can take your elements and add them to promote your products or your events, as we are doing. We're doing a new event called Bevies and Bling. It's going to be an Auntie event that I'm going to be teaching you guys how to host yourself. And I'm super excited about it. So what I want to do here is I'm going to just save this as an SVG from Silhouette or from Canva. You can only export as SVG if you have a paid account though. So if you want to do this with a PNG, you can separate your design like we did in our last one. You know what? I'm actually going to do this how I did it in my last one. So what I did was I took my logo and I separated out all of the pieces so that they weren't touching, because I wanted to tell my layers where they needed to go when it was time to take them to the cutting machine or the design program for the cutting machine. I know this seems like a lot, but I'm working a lot on this logo to be something I'm going to use over and over again. So if this is a design you're planning to put on a lot of things, it's definitely worth it to do it right. So I do this when I'm creating SVGs for my members, but again, if you're trying to craft, like, this is not something you want to be doing over and over and over again. So if you're looking at learning to design and loopholes and different things like that, these are just some fun tools to know, but it's not necessarily the fastest way to design or the best way to design for your cut files, but it can work. So I'm going to change everything on my canvas to black just so that everything kind of exports nice and crisp and I don't have to worry about layers. We're going to create the layers in the design program. So now I'm going to share this. Download this as an SVG as a paid account, but if you don't have a paid account, you can download as a PNG with a transparent background. Actually, I know what's going to happen, but let's just download this as an SVG, and then we're also going to download it as a PNG, and I'm going to show you the two difference and why I prefer both for different reasons. Download, current page, done, download. Okay, so I downloaded it as an SVG. I'm going to go over to Silhouette Studio, and I'm going to drag and drop this in Silhouette Studio to show you what it looks like. I could have done a transparent background. That would have been much better, but let's see if I can get rid of this background. So yeah, so I'm just going to drag this background off and delete it. When the background is white, it can be a little bit wonky. So what I like to do, oh, there's another background in there. So delete that. How many backgrounds are in here? We got quite a bit. So I'm just going to delete any background. You can also export with a transparent background. That will stop you from having to do this. So when I see that there is white no longer behind it, then I know that it is ready to go and there's no white in the background. But again, export with transparent background and you won't need to do that. Now, this is a great way to see also all your layers, because look at these little gray boxes. What that gray box means is these are all, if I'm going to save this as an SVG, these are all going to be different layers. And the one thing I really love about Silhouette is if I'm using the Silhouette machine, wherever I have things on my board, that's where it's going to cut. But when I send this to Cricut Design Space, it's gonna take all these as different layers and jumble them up when I go to cut them. It's just one of those frustrating things about Cricut Design Space. So this would work great if you're ready to go with your silhouette and I'm like, I just want to cut these out of heat transfer vinyl, layer them where I want them after my project, or I want to cut this all out of one color. I'm gonna move everything where it goes, but that's not what we're doing. We're gonna prepare this for Cricut Design Space because I'm gonna cut this with my Cricut. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually change these to the colors that I want them for my logo, which looks like this. So the bling and the plus sign, I'm gonna drag over and hold the plus sign, and I'm gonna change the color to a hot pink color, just to remind me that those are all pink. But what I'm actually gonna do is Command E. It's so different in Illustrator. It's Command 8, but Command E. Oh wait, I don't even want to do that. But one thing I love about Silhouette is I can undo. So just Command Z. Sorry, saying it and thinking about it. My fingers do it a lot faster than my brain. So I don't want to Command E them because that makes them a compound path, and I want this to cut where it's supposed to go. So I can Command E these because I know they're in the right spot. So I'm going to drag over BLNG, Command E, and now you can see the lines. That box goes around the whole thing. There's no longer these little boxes, so it's a compound path. And then I know bevies is going to be in one layer, so I'm going to drag over these, and I'm going to Command E. And this is where Silhouette gets a little funky sometimes. So what I'm going to do is undo that. And what I actually want to do before I do that is I'm going to come up here to this button up here. Let me drag the program down so you guys can see these. I'm going to come up here, right here to this weld button, and I'm going to weld it. And because these are all little layers, because Canva's amazing, because these are all little, that was sarcasm. Canva is amazing, but for this, it's a little frustrating. So these are all layers. Are we on that? And they're going to cut out these little words over each other. And so I welded it so that every overlapping piece is now one solid piece. Now that they're all one solid piece, I'm going to Command E them. And now we don't have that cut line issue. Everything's just going to be one pretty cut line. I'm going to drag. The thing about Silhouette Studio is dragging in a PNG is a nightmare. So I usually just drag the PNG for reference to see like my layout so that I can put my pieces back together. I'm just going to look at this really quick. So this comes down right here, and bevies comes down, and the V, the I, this is like the top of the I, so I know that the plus sign is aligned right, almost, it like nests right here, just centered, and then this comes down, and then this creates the V, and then this part. Oh, my cherry's separate on here. I kind of like that because I've been wanting to make the cherry a different color because I used an element from Canva. So I'm going to bring this to the front, and I'm actually going to weld the pieces that I want together. So I'm going to hold the stem of the glass, the top of the glass, and the bevies, and I'm going to not Command E because I want you to see what happens if I compound path this. See what happens there? That little I does this little nookie thing, which I'm not opposed to, actually, now that I look at it. But if I didn't want that to happen, I'm going to undo that. I would weld this first so that that becomes one solid piece. But I actually like it. I'm going to Command E this and call it good because I like you to be able to see the E. Now my diamond is a separate piece because I want to be able to cut that out of a different color. So I'm going to actually change my diamond to a silvery color to remind me that I want this to be like a holographic heat transfer vinyl. And I actually want my cherry. Oh, my cherry's a few pieces. That's fun. Canva does these fun things with their elements sometimes where I'm like, oh, it's layered. So I always still want this to be one piece. So I'm going to drag over this. I'm going to weld it. But then I'm going to bring it down here, and I'm going to see what it looks like if it is pink, so that it's like that. I like that better, and then I can layer it behind. I'm going to be probably using glitter heat transfer vinyl, so I might want to slice this so that you don't have to layer it when you cut it. Oh, that's really cute. Okay, so now I think Silhouette won because I actually did that way faster than in Illustrator. But I'm just going to drag this onto my artboard and export it as a SVG, and we'll go test it in Cricut. So Command-Shift-S is save. I'm going to click Format SVG, Bling, and Bevy's Silhouette. And I think I like this better. So let's see, let's export it. Oh, did I export it to my downloads? I'm trying to be more organized where I export things. No, it's on my desktop. Let's just do it again on our downloads. So Bevy's and Bling Silhouette to downloads SVG. And that should go right there. Okay, so let's go over to Cricut Design Space. Make sure that it's working. This is our Illustrator version. Upload image, drag and drop. It's a SVG, so it's going to come in nice and quick. And let's see how many layers we got. Did we do it correctly? You always want to test to make sure it's good if you're going to be sharing this with anyone or you're going to be using it a lot. Okay, we're not good. Look at this. I forgot to Command 8 the diamond, which in itself alone is a lot of pieces. So always check your designs. Let's go back and fix it. Let's go to Silhouette, and I'm going to grab my diamond by dragging over all these pieces right here and Command 8. Did it work? I hate that I can't zoom in with 2 fingers on Silhouette. It's one of my pet peeves. Okay, let me double check that there weren't other layers that we can fix. So Bevy's is good. We got this one layer. We've got the plus is not Command 8. We didn't do it. And I want to Command 8 the cherry so it all stays in one spot. So we've got the cherry that's a layer, which, you know what, I'm actually gonna keep it its own layer because then it'll cut closer and I can manually cut that off if I'm gonna use it in glitter, and I could layer it there. Okay, what else do we got? We have our plus that needs to be combined with the bling. We have this cherry, and we have the diamond. Okay, so let's go back to Silhouette. I'm telling you, check it twice because the last thing you want, and this is really not centered, guys, so let's zoom in a bit and really get this right. So now I'm gonna hold shift so I can get my plus sign and my bling, and Command 8. Now that's one. Command 8. It's loading. Silhouette Studio can be a little slow sometimes. That's another thing. Shift, Command E. That's why, because I'm doing the commands for so maybe it's not them that's slow. Maybe it's me that's slow sometimes. Okay, and I just want to make sure this is, I mean, I can layer this all with my heat transfer vinyl later, but if I want this to be my actual SVG, I'm going to need to make sure it's perfect, because if we're going to use this on graphics or anything, I want this to be good. Okay, and cherry is going to be its own. Bling is now compacted. Bling is compacted. Bevy's, okay. Command Shift save. Bevy's and Bling. 0.2. Silhouette Studio, we want to change this to SVG. I can also export as PNG and all the things, but if I export it as PNG, the colors are the colors. Like, this is just my guide. If these are not the colors you want for your graphic, change them to the colors you want. Okay, let's upload. I'm going to just delete all this. Upload image, select, drag and drop, upload. Let's test our layers. Add this to the design. What is happening? Why did the diamond not? Why did the diamond not? Oh no, guys. Okay. What is happening? So I can always weld this here and get one layer, but that, I'm a designer. My goal is to not have you have to do any of those things. But if you're doing it and you made that mistake, like I did for some reason. Did I just upload the wrong version or something? No, because that's compounded. Oh, did I compound 8? Did I compound 8 instead of E? Let's see. Compound E. There we go. See those red lines? Now we're gonna see that. Alright, sorry guys. Bevy's and Bling 0.3. Hey, you guys are learning, right? From my mistakes. Bevies and Blanc. 0.3. Try again. SVG. Downloads. Okay. Delete it. Upload it. Upload the new version. Upload the new version and check it for the people so that, look at it, kind of changed the color too, so I know it did something. Add to canvas. We got 4 layers. We got Bevies and Bling. We got our cherry. We got our diamond. All right, if you guys want to see me add this to some hoodies and some crews and how to brand your event or if this is your logo, with heat transfer vinyl and the placement that I would put this, I'm going to do a part 3 for Bevies and Bling. As you guys watch me brand my own event that I am doing, I'm going to be sharing with my business members tips and tricks on branding and all things. So if you're not a business member, check it out. Other than that, if you wanted this on Illustrator, I did that. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything I missed or you're really confused on, or I know I go fast sometimes, but YouTube is videos, so you can rewind and rewatch. You can also watch this in slow motion if you need to. Just click that button where it says watch time. All right, I love you guys. Hope this was helpful. Goodbye.